Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to our weekly live stream here at Essential Education. My name's Jen. I'm the Student Success Coach here, and we are thrilled to connect with our student body any chance we can get. And our student body includes you. We reach out to anyone who is pursuing life change. And now most of those students start with us by maybe the reason why you clicked this video today, the reason why you joined this live stream today. You are looking to better yourself by getting your high school equivalency credential. In some states that might be the GED, in others that might be the HiSET, and some of you will be taking the task. We've titled today 5 ways to plan to pass the GED, because most people just refer to that high school equivalency credential as the GED. But that's actually a little bit of a misunderstanding, and we'll clear up a little bit of that today. You hear us say a lot here at Essential Education, the best way to pass is to plan to pass, that the bulk of that goal getting is in the planning itself. See, a lot of us just want to jump in, right? If we are studying for a test, we just want to jump into the subject. Tell me what I got to learn and let me jump in and learn it. But there's a lot more that goes into test preparation than just individual subject study. And arming yourself with that more is what can really make the difference between you passing or you struggling to kind of cross that finish line, getting frustrated, and maybe even giving up. And we don't want that to happen. Your success really is our goal, so we want to arm you not only with personalized test prep services that we offer as a fully enrolled student, but we also want to give you some ideas, no matter who you're partnering with for your preparation, to better plan to pass. And we're going to break that down into 5 different ideas today. The first one is to start by getting your facts. Get the baseline facts about the process. There is this overall process of getting your credential in hand. And the first is to kind of clear up that misunderstanding about the GED. See, if you've heard anyone say, I got my GED, they're actually a little mistaken. What they really mean is maybe they took the GED test to get their high school equivalency credential, but the truth is the GED is not the only test. There are 3 tests nationwide. And while in some states you can take the GED, it's been around for a long period of time, it's a great test, there are 2 other tests, and in some states you may not even have the GED available to you. Doesn't mean that your test is worse or better than the GED, it's just a different form of the test, and you need to expect some changes from test to test. So the first thing you need to do is get the facts and get to know which test you need to take. And you do that by understanding your state rules and regulations. If you visit our website, essentialed.com/where to test, you'll have a list of all 50 states and some Canadian provinces, and you can click into that information, not only find out about what test you need to take or what tests you can choose between taking, but you can also get a lot of information, residency requirements, whether or not you have to take any extra exams to get that credential in your state on top of the GED, HiSET, or TASC. You can get some age information. You can get lots of different rules and regulations that link you to your national test provider. And you'll want to figure out what that is. If you only have one test option, then you'll want to link with that national test provider. If it's the GED, that's going to be GED.com. If it's the HiSET, then you'll want to visit hiset.org. And if it's the TASC, you'll want to visit tasktest.com. All 3 national test providers must administer your national exam. No matter how you prepare, they must administer the national exam. And all 3 test providers have some information that you'll want to get to know about ahead of time. That's where you'll go to schedule your exam. That's where you'll go to apply for any accommodations if you have a learning difference that requires and needs extra test time or a solo testing environment. Your 3 test providers are the ones that give you that information and walk you through that application process. Your test providers are also where you will go back once you've passed all the exams, all the subject exams, and you can order your diploma or your credential. So part of getting to know the facts and getting to know the overall process is getting to know your test. The other is just knowing really how all the little different pieces fit together. And there's a lot of details along the way, but I always tell those that are starting out to think about their process in 2 steps: preparing for and taking the test. First, you want to figure out which test you're taking, and then you want to work to prepare for that individual test so that when you take that official exam, you pass it the first time. And if you don't pass it the first time, you have some preparation to go back and jump into to shore up any weak spots and get you that credential in hand and move forward. So when it comes to preparation, the next big step, number 2, in planning to pass, is you want to make sure you know where you stand. You want to make sure that you can take some pre-tests. You want to make sure that whatever form of preparation you use allows you an opportunity to say, what do I know right now? See, you have to know your strengths and your weaknesses. You have to know what you're dealing with right now if you want to know what areas maybe you don't need to spend a lot of time on. Why spend your time studying things that you already know, areas that you can fast track? But then there may be some areas that you find through pre-testing and finding out where you stand that you think, oh gosh, I really need to pour into this particular area. I really need to go back and refresh my mind in this basic area, whatever subject that might be. And you want to make sure that you have a preparation plan and pass that in a preparation plan in place that allows you to properly fill in those gaps and move forward. So number 1 is get the facts about your state, get the facts about your test. Number 2 is to know where you stand with pre-testing. You have to know where you are if you want to get to where you want to go. Make sense? So number 3 is when you are looking at that preparation plan, choose wisely. See, adult education has a lot of different choices out there. You know, when you're younger and you're in that K-12 environment, then, you know, the state or maybe your parents, they make that educational decision for you, right? They decide where you're going to go to school. And then once you decide where you want to go to school, then that teacher kind of sets the tone for the class and how you learn. A lot of adult students are choosing on your own. You're left to your own ability to go out and choose a program that works best for you. So you want to choose that program wisely. Think about that as freedom to choose the thing that works best for you. The first thing you want to consider in choosing wisely is you want to make sure that you find a preparation plan that fits your schedule. We partner with lots of schools all over the world where our preparation products are used hand in hand with an in-classroom environment. And for some of you, that in-classroom is what you really need. That's what you want. And your schedule is set up in such a way that you can attend adult education classes on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday in the evenings, or on a Tuesday or Thursday for these elongated hours at a certain time. That might work for you. But we have a lot of students out there that work second, third shift. They work maybe, you know, a late night shift. They work 2 jobs. And so for them, the idea of going to an adult education class from 6 to 9 on a Monday night is impossible. It just wouldn't fit their schedule. So they need opportunities to study on the go, to study in a plan that works best for them. So as you're choosing your preparation, know that in order for that preparation to be successful, it has to fit your life and schedule. It has to be realistic. So take that into account as you're choosing wisely. Another area of choice that you need to consider is considering your learning style. That we all learn differently. You know, whether you have a diagnosed learning disability or a diagnosis associated with how you learn, we all learn differently. We all need different things. Some of us need visual, some of us need more auditory support, some of us need to move things around with our hands. And so you want to make sure that you have a preparation program in place that checks all those boxes and fits all of those needs. So know your schedule, know your style, and then above all, make sure that your preparation is test aligned. Those 3 different tests that I mentioned, GED, HiSET, and TASK, they're all pretty much the same. They're all going to definitely give you the same thing in the end. Passing any of those 3 in your state will give you that high school credential in the end. But while they cover the same content, the way that the test makers ask the questions and the way that they form those questions, the words that they use to form those questions, is a little bit different from test to test to test. For instance, the HiSET and the task, almost entirely multiple choice, with the exception of the essay. So if you are taking either of those exams, you know that every single question that you're going to have on that test, with the exception of the essay, is in a multiple choice format. If you're taking the GED, you can't say that. While a majority of the test questions will be multiple choice, GED has long been computerized, and as such, testers will be asked to move things around on a screen. Because there's a lot more freedom in that, some of the questions might be multiple choice, some could be multiple select, some will be what's called drag and drop, where you move the mouse physically and drag it to the correct location. Some of it will be fill in the blank, lots of different question types. And I always say it would be a shame to study for a given subject and go in to take the official exam and just get thrown off that day on how the test makers ask the questions. You don't want to throw that into your mix. So again, that's a big part of this planning to pass. So let's review real quick. 1, you're going to get the facts about your test and your rules. Number 2, you're going to know where you stand by taking some pre-test and filling in your strengths and complementing your weaknesses. Number 3, you're going to choose your plan of preparation wisely. Choose that preparation program according to a schedule that works for you, according to something that works for your learning style, and of course, something that is aligned to the test. You want to find GED-specific resources, HiSET-specific resources, or task-specific resources. The 4th way to plan to pass is to set a schedule. Take a look at your calendar and be really honest. Look at all of the things that you have to do in the course of your day. We have lots of live coaching sessions here. We even have some live streams that you can check out here on this channel where we talk about prioritizing. We talk about finding a schedule and a calendar that works best for you. Because my schedule is completely different than your schedule. Your schedule is completely different than even your coworker's schedule, based on your family responsibilities and your family needs. All of those things come into the mix. So again, just like knowing where you stand for your own learning and the things you remember subject-wise, you also have to know where you stand as far as your schedule goes. You have to know where your open opportunities are. So look at your calendar and then learn to prioritize. We have a lot of tips here on this channel, as well as through our live coaching sessions, which I'll give you a link in the comments later on today after this session is over, to help you learn to prioritize. And as you work through that calendar, as you set a study schedule, as you look at your open opportunities, set a review day. I like to do my calendar review days on Sunday afternoons. It's something I do privately. It's something I just look at. My family probably doesn't even know that I do it. I look at the week previous and look at my calendar, look at my schedule, look at maybe some habits that I had that week. I ask myself, okay, what went really well this week? What do I want to continue to implement? And what didn't work so well? What were my areas where when I self-evaluate, I look and say, really didn't do very well in that area. What's something I can change or I need to adjust going forward? And I like to do that every week because, at least in my life, sometimes every day looks different, but every week definitely looks different. So number 4 in planning to pass is to set that schedule, look at your calendar, be realistic, learn to prioritize according to your specific needs, and then set a review day so that you can always kind of bob and weave and ebb and flow with that. And then number 5, essential to success, set goals. You have to set goals, and you have to set 2 different types of goals. We all need those long-term goals, right? We all need to be able to say, hey, I'd really like to do this one day. I've always wanted to be a nurse. I've always wanted to be a mechanic. I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur and own my own business. We need those long-term goals that we can see down the road, because what do they help us do? They help us back up and set other goals. Let's use nursing as an example. If you want to be a nurse, that's going to take some extended education beyond your high school equivalency credential, right? So you look at, okay, what are the certifications that I need to be a nurse? What education is required in my state or in the nation? Back that up and set that goal. Okay, what are the prerequisites to getting into those educational programs? Back that up and set that goal. Okay, where am I now? What do I have? What am I lacking? What do I need? Oh, well, the first thing I need to do is get a high school education. Check that off the box. I look at my different options, I choose wisely, and I say, okay, well, I live in the state of Alabama, and I know that that's a GED only state, so I need to study for the GED. Back that up. Okay, I need to prepare for the GED, so I need to look at some GED specific preparation resources. Oh, I know that the GED now has 4 subjects, reading and writing, math, science, and social studies. So I need to put a study plan together to pass those individual tests. How do I put a study plan together? So we back up those long-term goals into making short-term measurable goals so that all of a sudden we don't get overwhelmed by that end goal, although that's important. We have to keep that on our radar. We have to keep motivational reminders of that and remind ourselves of why we started. That's essential. But in order not to get overwhelmed by that end goal, we have to break it up so that we can say things like, okay, I know I want to be a nurse, but for today, that means that I'm going to be studying an algebra unit for the GED. That's what that means for me today. And when I finish this unit, then I've checked off that box. And as you set those short-term goals, incentivize yourself along the way. If you set study goals for yourself for the week and you meet them, make sure that you set up a little reward, and that's going to speak differently to everyone. If you're sacrificing your company's or your friends' weekly happy hour so that you can go home and study, then tell yourself, okay, if I sacrifice this time, or as I like to say, if I invest this time in something that's really important, if I meet all my study goals this week, then I'm going to take Saturday off and I'm going to go out with my friends and I'm going to have fun. Incentivize yourself that way. Incentivize yourself with just a break in general. Incentivize yourself with a sweet treat or maybe something that you can splurge on yourself when you hit a bigger goal. See, humans are hardwired for the payoff. We want to know we're going to get something out of it, right? So set up those markers along the way. It's kind of like that idea of having a carrot on a stick. At the end, if you want a little bunny to follow you down the road, you've got that carrot on the end of the stick and the bunny will always follow because he knows that reward is coming. We're the same way. In the end, we're human animals and we're the same way. So we need those incentives along the way. So let's review 5 ways to plan to pass. 1, get the facts. Get the facts about testing in your state. Understand the rules, the regulations, and the process. I'll put that link down in our comments today. Number 2, know where you stand by being able to pre-test so that you know your strengths and weaknesses. I'll put a link down in the comments today as far as some free testing options that we have here with Essential Education. Number 3, choose wisely. And we hope that you partner with Essential Education. See, because we check all the boxes when it comes to scheduling. You can access our programs completely online, 100%, 24 hours a day. We accommodate those needs as long as you have a smartphone at minimum or a laptop or a desktop at maximum, and you have a strong internet connection. You can study 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at a time that's convenient for you. We have wonderful instructional designers who've put together programs specifically to meet the needs of a variety of learning styles. There's visual complements, there's audio complements. We even have closed captioning and the ability to do Braille reading, blind reader functions that are in, not Braille itself. You wouldn't be able to do that online, but these e-readers, these screen readers, if you have a variety of learning disabilities that set you in a different need base. We have lots of different things to hit with that. We even have Spanish capabilities. You can toggle the English on and off in our program. So we have programs that can meet your schedule. We have programs that you can meet your style, and we make you choose your test academy. We have specific training for GED Academy, HiSET Academy, and Task Academy. So you choose the one that you need based on the rules and regulations in your state. We cover all of it. Number 4, set that schedule, look at your calendar, learn to prioritize, set that review day, know what works for you, what doesn't work for you, and adjust as needed. And do set those goals. Set long-term goals that help you remember why you started. Have an idea of what you want to do. And if you're struggling with that, we can help with that too. We have a great program called Dreamcatcher where you can kind of figure out writing your life's mission statement, figuring out what you might be purposed for based on what you like to do or what you're naturally gifted. You know, that old adage of if you do something you love, you never work a day in your life. Man, that's the best of both worlds, right? Getting that paycheck, but then truly enjoying what you do. And we want to help you with that as well. So we have resources we can provide there. Set long-term goals, but also set those short-term goals and incentivize yourself along the way. Grant yourself grace. Know that you can revisit and revise these plans at any given time because you are an adult and you have the ability to choose. Choose wisely. Choose a partner that cares about you and cares about your success. Psst, that's us. And let us help you all along the way. We hope that today's discussion was truly beneficial to you. We hope that we've given you some practical resources that we'll put down here in the comments. Also, feel free to ask any questions. As soon as our live stream's over today, I'll get in and respond to those. Your success truly is our goal, and we want to match you need per need. Thanks for joining us. We hope to see you again soon.